Alright, so this is the next episode. I'm going to go ahead and put a clip in right now to kind of show the AC system. So I ended up brazing the lines, which I covered in a previous episode. They're right there. I went ahead and hooked all that up and did a pressure test. So I'll go ahead and insert the clip now of basically some discussion on that. Alright, so next episode, I believe we're at 15. Quite a few episodes, a lot of things I try to kind of cover what's going on. This one I'm going to kind of record little clips as I go, so it might be a little weird kind of edits, because I kind of want to show a few things. So, right now, I've got the AC system hooked up with my new brazed lines that I showed in the last episode. So there's my brazed line. It's attached to the compressor there. Looks like we've got plenty of clearance. It's kind of a pain in the ass to install it just because the way, you really can't see it. But the way it attaches to the compressor, there's just not very much room to get a socket in there. But nevertheless, I got it on. All new seals. I did buy a GM seal kit right here. Comes with a bunch of O-rings. I'll have the part number in my little thing, but that's the part number in case anyone's doing any AC maintenance. It looks like it's just kind of a general kit that comes with pretty much tons of extras, because every O-ring I've replaced on here, including the firewall, this attachment, the attachment at the compressor, this attachment. I have not yet replaced this one. I do have a new AC condenser going in, but that's only 2 seals, and as you can see, there's tons of extra. So, nice kit. But anyways, so I have the AC hooked up. As you can see, I've got a manifold attached to it. Those who don't know, the new Colorados actually take R1234YF, which means that these connectors are different. They are specially made for 123YF. So if you're attempting to do this, you're going to need different connectors, or you can buy a manifold setup for R1234YF. I have a 134A manifold, so I just bought the adapters there. Anyway, so I've got a vacuum pump attached. I've pulled vacuum, basically testing my brazed fittings. As you can see here on the low side, about 28 inches of mercury. That's the unit of measure for this manifold, and pretty much any manifold you get for AC. So I've got vacuum. It's been sitting in vacuum for about I'd say 20 minutes now. Got 30 on the high side, and it's just been sitting here in vacuum, and I don't have a leak. I've got a couple other things to do, so I'm probably just going to throw this and let this sit in vacuum for about an hour, just to make sure there's no leaks. This is only a test. I just want to make sure my brazed fittings are good. So I'm not doing anything else with the AC. Once I do that, I'll let the vacuum out of it, and I'll be taking all these lines off. I've still got to do a bunch of stuff right here, so I'll have to remove this line anyways. Let me go to a wider view there. But yeah, this is just a test to verify that my braze fitting is holding. Once that's holding, then all this will get removed, and then that's pretty much the last kind of fab work I have to do. I covered in the last video the vacuum pumps there. So once we do this, I will start mounting things up for good Kind of a bummer thing. I did not get my straight fitting for my oil filter yet. They're saying Monday. I'm hoping I might get lucky and get it today to where I can finish that up tomorrow. But yeah, I'll end this clip here and then I'll add some more later on as I continue working. Alright, now we're back from that clip and I'll go ahead and discuss other things I've been working on. So, I've been working on the vacuum system a little bit. Taking off some of these fittings to basically build my own vacuum system using some of the stock Colorado stuff. Let's go ahead and hit on this real quick since I have it right here. So I believe I had discussed this previously, but my oil pan does not have the level sensor. So here's kind of my little jumper I built. So I spliced and soldered the two wires together and then I heat shrinked it. This has glue in it, so this is actually completely sealed, and now I just gotta tuck it in there and get it, kind of zip tied and put in place. It's a little humid here, so that's actually just sweat on the manifold. But a couple other things I worked on this weekend. So I got a catch can, still kind of figuring that out. I'm thinking I'm going to mount it right here. For those that know, there's a grounding stud right there. I don't use it for anything. I typically like to ground to the battery or in that area. So I'll probably build a bracket off of it and mount the catch can here. Have it go into basically teed into this area. This is the venting there right into the intake. I'm probably describing that wrong. Sorry, I'm a little tired. But anyways, I've got a tee off of that and run it into this system. So this is actually the first little vacuum line I ran from the brake booster. There's a check valve into the vacuum pump on its new bracket. So there'll need to be a Y here somewhere. I'll probably just use the Y that's on there. And then that'll have to be plumbed into the catch can setup. And then there'll be another check valve right there. So I think we've got that figured out. I've just kind of cut to length a little crossover tube here. And then once I find the T, I need a T probably right about in here to go up to the intake. And that'll end up being right here. I need to take these to the auto parts store because I can't. I've been searching and searching online and I can't find a T that's these dimensions, so I'll just go up to the auto parts store with the two hoses and just start kind of playing around. So I have the intake box mounted. Let me pull out some of this hose, filter. So as you can see there, I've got a bolt. I drilled through and put a rivsert in there. I need to clean this box out. It's still got a bunch of little plastic shavings. And then I'm just using the stud. That stud's not long enough to run a nut on there. So I will just use the stud to kind of keep it in place. Sorry, I'm dropping stuff here. Alright, so yeah, I'm using the stud to just keep it in place. This is plenty solid. I mean, this thing doesn't need to be cinched down, and it should allow a little bit of movement for when the cone will go through here and a little bit of vibration. I think I discussed in the last video, I'm going to end up leaving this open. I will cap this. It comes with the cap. My thinking is if water does get in here, I want it to get out as fast as possible. So I think leaving that open will do that. So I cut out the circle that was over here. I tried to plastic weld it, but this thing is made with some pretty heat resistant plastic. So, you kind of need heat to plastic weld. So I cut it nice and square like that. and I've got some weather stripping coming. I don't know if it'll fill the whole gap right there, but it should fill most of it. I'm pretty happy with it just kind of being open like that. I do also have a filter sock coming for this. I don't know, those are familiar with. So you put a filter sock on this and it has hydrophobic properties where water just beads and isn't able to pass through. The micron openings are smaller than a water molecule. And it's got some type of coating on it. I don't really know. I run one in my car. So I actually have a cowl induction set up on this, so my filter is actually right down in there. And so my filter sits right there, so it does get exposed to a little bit of water, and I've never had an issue, and I daily drive that through massive rainstorms, and it's perfectly fine. Granted, I don't do water crossings in it or anything, but I think we'll be good with that opening, closed top. This being open with the sock on it, I think we'll be all right. Intake wise, I did get my other straight, so oil lines are done. I do not have them installed in the bracket yet. I don't have them tightened up yet. I'll be doing that once I start finalizing everything. I've got all the wiring here kind of cleaned up. This wire, it's no longer dangling down in there. You can kind of see it. But I got the wiring situated there, so I think we're good there. Most of the wiring up top is good. I have everything locked down on the top, locked down in the back. I still haven't mounted this. I'm still waiting. I need to finalize those fuel lines before I bolt that down. Update from Adams. I talked to them last week. They should have got the adapter for the front diff to drive shaft from the machinist probably Thursday, Friday. I talked to them on Wednesday. They said it was supposed to come in that week. I sent back the slip yoke they sent me to check for clearance. Once they get that, they said about 3 days they'll have the drive shafts built, balanced, and ready to ship. So that'll probably take us till Friday, Monday of the week after. So probably in about 2 weekends. I'll probably make a video next weekend because I'm going to try to finalize stuff here. But yeah, about 2 videos from now, we should have drive shafts and be finalizing fuel lines and pretty much just building an exhaust. I think that's pretty much the only thing left besides software. So I've got a battery coming. I'm going to put a new one in there. Let's see what else. I think that's pretty much all I really accomplished this weekend. Not a whole lot. Just a lot of getting things lined up to get this. Getting things there. Finalizing that. I actually ended up removing the other line as well and shortening it a little bit just to get them nice and clear, because how I'm going to tighten that up is going to be kind of a pain. So I needed this to be a little bit shorter. So I reworked some of that. I think we're pretty much set on that. I mean, most of yesterday was doing the AC pressure test. I let that sit on there for about an hour and a half. Didn't lose any pressure, so I think we're pretty good on the AC system. I'm liking this new oiling setup without using the oil cooler. I think we're good there. Nice and simple. Yeah, I think we're pretty close to wrapping this up. Next weekend, yeah, I'm planning on next weekend to fully install the AC system for good. Fully install these lines for good. Put the alternator on. That'll probably be it. I may start pulling the front diff next week. next weekend. We'll see how things go. I'd like to get that out and kind of started because it's going to give me better access to the oil lines at the adapter for tightening those. And I want to modify that cross member a little bit. Just where the oil line gets really close to it, I might just try to maybe beat that in a little bit just to kind of give it maybe just a tad bit more clearance. We should be good now, but I'm just thinking of, engine vibration. I'd rather give it just a little bit extra. Other than that, I think we're good on this one. I don't know if I really covered too much, but it's getting there. It's, little things here and there really take up the time. So I will catch you guys on the next one where we'll hopefully be getting this pretty much buttoned up and ready to get closer to starting. I'm hoping the weekend after next, when I get the drive shafts in, get the fuel lines finalized, that we can start working on software that weekend. And if software goes smooth, hopefully we can start it up. My goal is still 4th of July to be at a minimum started and running, with maybe the diffs, re-gear, brakes, my little kind of mod stuff that has nothing to do with the swap done or still needed to be done by July 4th. But we'll see how that goes. Maybe I'll get lucky and software will go smooth and we'll have this thing completely done by July 4th. But yeah, I'll catch you guys on the next one.